Hi, I'm Brent, and if you're like me, you've been taking a lot of video calls lately. What's really neat is with Twilio Video, you can build your own video calling applications that work on the web, iOS, and Android. They might look something like this. What's cool about building your own application is you can add things to the video frame, like names or image overlays. In fact, in this video, I'm going to show you how to add a Powered by Twilio logo down in the bottom right of your video frame. It just takes HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so let's get started. Our application will use a blog post written by Phil Nash over on the Twilio blog. I've put the link to the blog post down in the description below this video if you want to check it out. Our project will start with an index.html file, and I'm just going to take the contents from that straight out of the blog post so that we don't have to type it all out in the context of this video. I'll paste it directly in. This basically loads up the Twilio Video SDK, adds a button to show our video on screen, and has a container for the video once it loads in. Next, we're going to add some CSS to style our web page. Once again, I'm just going to copy this here. It adds some fonts and some styling for our button object. So I'll paste that in and we're good to go. Next, it's time to write a little bit of JavaScript. Inside of script.js, the first thing that we want to do is get access to the container and the button. So we'll use document.getElementById to get the video-container and the get-video elements from our HTML. Once we have that, we'll add an event listener to the button for the click event. Inside of here, we're going to use the Twilio Video SDK to create a local video track. This will prompt the user for access to their camera and microphone, and once that's done, we'll have access to the track to add it to our HTML. Once we have access to the track, we'll use container.append to add the track to our HTML page. And since we don't need it anymore, we'll call remove on our button to take it out of the page. Let's test our application by opening up index.html in the browser and see what it looks like so far. I'll click show your video and I'll click allow and my video will appear. Now we just need to add that overlay down in the bottom right. The overlay image that we're going to work with is in the blog post, so I'll just save that into the project directory that we've been working with right at the root level alongside the index.html, script.js, and style.css files for the project that we've been working in so far. Everything we're going to do in terms of decoration here with the overlay is going to use CSS. Head back into style.css, and for the video container element, we're going to set it up as a positioning element since it contains the video we want to create an overlay on. We're also going to be using the before pseudo element on the video container. By using CSS to create this image element for us, we keep our markup clean and use CSS for what it's good for, decorating the page. We'll set the content here to empty string, and we'll set the position to absolute within the video container. Next, we're going to set some positioning things. We're going to position this 8 pixels from the bottom and 8 pixels in from the right. Next, we'll set the width to 140 pixels and the height to 32 pixels. Now we'll set the background to the image that we downloaded. I saved it as overlay.png, and we'll set the background size to cover the entire element. Let's give this a test. You can see right away that the Powered by Twilio element is way off over to the right, and it's never going to fix itself even now. It's just way over there on the right side of the screen. We need to bring that back over inside of the video element. Let's fix it. It's a pretty easy fix back in our CSS. We'll just set the videos element to display using Flexbox. This will constrain its child elements to just the size of the largest width, which is our video, which will pull that Powered by Twilio overlay inside of the video. We'll click the show button and allow, and there it is. It's in the right location. There's only one more tweak I want to make here, and that is to set the max width of the video container's video element to fit inside at 100%. This will allow us to resize the browser window and have the video resize appropriately. Perfect. Now I just want to make one more tweak inside of our JavaScript, we're going to use a timeout to run some code after 2 seconds that will trigger the fade in of the overlay. So we're going to add a class to our container after 2 seconds after the video gets attached. We'll add the class name of live, and that's going to run again 2 seconds after the video track is added to the page. Now back in our CSS inside of the video container before element, we'll start that off with an opacity of 0, and we'll also specify a transition on the opacity of 0.5 seconds so that when we set the opacity to 1 later, when we apply the live class, that'll happen as a gradual fade in over 0.5 seconds. All we have to do now is add that class down here below to the video container. So video container.live before here, we're going to set the opacity equal to 1, which will trigger that gradual fade in of the Powered by Twilio logo. Heading back over to the browser, I'll enable our video once again, and after 2 seconds, the Powered by Twilio logo will appear as an overlay. Now that you have your video application up and running and you've seen a little bit of what you can do with video overlays, go back to Phil Nash's blog post. Again, the link is down in the description down below, and learn a bit more about adding names. There's a few more CSS tricks in there, and really make your application what you want it to be. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe and check out one of the other videos on the channel. I picked one out just for you. It's appearing right now on screen. And until next time, I'm out of here.